Before we begin, do something you have never done on purpose. Whisper the word no and don't flinch. Say it again, slower, and feel what your body tries to do to save you. The throat tightens, the shoulders rise, the mind sprints to find a softer path. Now imagine a stranger saying it to you without anger, just clean and firm, and notice the story your brain writes in half a second. Not enough, not wanted, not chosen. Good. You just met the old script. Tonight, we are going to burn it. Not by pretending rejection doesn't sting, but by changing what it means in your nervous system so completely that a no becomes the cleanest filter in your life. If you do this right, you will not become reckless. You will become unbreakable. Unbreakable does not mean you never feel. It means you never fold. It means your spine stays when the room grows loud. It means you stop bribing people to like you. It means you move like someone who knows how to select, how to invite, how to hear no, how to keep going, and how to build a life that rewards courage far more than it punishes risk. Here is the truth that ends the era of chasing approval. Rejection is not a verdict on your worth. It is a data point about fit, timing, or taste. Worth is intrinsic. Fit is contextual. Timing is practical. Taste is personal. When you treat a no like a verdict on worth, you place your nervous system in the hands of strangers. When you treat it like information about fit, timing, or taste, you keep your nervous system in your own hands. The unbreakable mindset is built on that distinction and enforced by habits that make courage cheaper than fear. This is not theory. This is a way of moving you can practice today across dates, negotiations, creative work, and daily conversations with people who matter. Start with your biology. Your fear of rejection is not a character defect. It is a survival reflex. Being cast out of the tribe used to mean death, so the brain learned to interpret social pain like physical pain. That is why an unread message can feel like a punch. That is why the word no turns your skin into static. We are going to use biology to fix biology. Slow exhale, loose jaw, heavy shoulders. If you lower your exhale, you lower your heart rate. If you lower your heart rate, your prefrontal cortex comes back online. And when your prefrontal cortex is online, you can choose responses that future you respects. You will do this so often that your body starts to associate no with a steady exhale instead of a panic spike. That is the first brick of the unbreakable mindset. A body that does not argue with you when life sends friction. Now we rewrite the meaning of no. Most people use no as a mirror. They stare into it and see a smaller version of themselves. Unbreakable people use no as a map. It shows them which direction to move next. If it is about fit, you pivot audiences. If it is about timing, you adjust cadence. If it is about taste, you accept the math and keep going. This is not positive thinking. It is correct thinking. If a restaurant says they are out of your favorite dish, you do not decide you are worthless. You decide whether to order something else or go to another place. Treat your dating life, your art, your business, your conversations exactly like that. The person who can move on cleanly without shrinking becomes magnetic because their energy is no longer hostage to outcomes they do not control. Say this sentence under your breath and let it become your operating system. I will make clean offers, I will accept clean answers, and I will keep my identity off the table. Clean offer, specific, kind, and honest. Clean answer, yes, no, or a counter with real details. Identity off the table, no story about your worth attached to their answer. This is selection over seduction. You are not trying to impress everybody. You are trying to find the few who love what you truly are. The unbreakable do not win by being louder. They win by being clearer. Here is what the fear of rejection really is when you strip away the drama. An attachment to outcomes that you cannot guarantee, combined with a habit of interpreting uncertainty as danger. we fix both. Outcome detachment is not apathy, it is loyalty to process. Your process is this: see clearly, invite precisely, breathe through silence, listen for reality, and move with momentum. If the answer is yes, you escalate respectfully. If the answer is no, you bless and you leave. If the answer is vague, you make one counter and then you step back to your mission. The habit of interpreting uncertainty as danger dissolves when you prove to your nervous system that you can survive silence. We will practice silence until it stops feeling like death. Before we go to drills, you need ethics, because power without ethics is how people get hurt. Every invitation you make is grounded in adult reciprocity and consent. You do not test people for sport. You do not use scarcity to create panic. You do not punish honest no's with guilt. You treat other humans the way you want to be treated when you are the one saying no. The goal here is not to become impervious. It is to become clean. Clean people sleep well. Clean people have options. Clean people are trusted. Trust compounds. Compounding is how the unbreakable move through life with less friction and more gravity. Now drills. The only way to overcome the fear of rejection is to collect rejections on purpose in a way that respects your values. We call these rejection reps. For the next 30 days, you will complete a simple protocol daily. You will make one clean ask that you can survive if it is refused, one clean no where you protect your time or energy, and one clean follow-up where you move a ball forward without chasing. The ask can be a date invitation with 2 options and 1 preference, a rate proposal with a number you can say without whispering, a request for feedback, a seat by the window. The no can be declining a last-minute plan, turning down an unpaid request that eats your week, refusing an invitation that betrays your training. The follow-up is a message that advances the story. Tuesday or Thursday at 7, quiet place with a corner. I prefer Thursday. You will record each rep in a small notebook with 3 lines: what I asked or declined, what the answer was, and what my body did. Over time, you will see a pattern. When you ask cleanly and walk away cleanly, your body calms faster and your results improve because you're not muddying the water with apologies. Reject the superstition that you should wait for confidence before you act. Confidence is not a faucet you turn and then you move. It is a residue that forms after you move. The unbreakable treat action as the cause and confidence as the effect. That is why their confidence lasts and performance anxiety fades. They built it with reality, not with affirmations alone. You will act before you feel ready, because ready is a mirage your fear uses to waste your life. Let's build language that keeps you honest when adrenaline tries to make you talk in paragraphs. For invitations, I want to see you again. Thursday at 7, I'll book the corner. I prefer Thursday. For boundaries, that doesn't work for me. I plan my week. I need confirmations the day before. For counters, these 2 windows work. If not, let's skip this one. For no's, I'm passing on that. Thanks for thinking of me. For follow-ups, still good for Thursday at 7? For opt-outs, I'm stepping back. Calendars aren't aligning. All of these are complete sentences. They do not beg, they do not threaten, they do not over-explain. They carry respect like a baseline. Respect is the adult currency that makes no tolerable for both sides. Your environment either trains your unbreakable mindset or taxes it. Clean the square meters where you make decisions. Clutter amplifies anxiety. Light the room warm. Put your phone out of reach when you plan. Keep the clothes you wear to your invitations simple, congruent, and comfortable. When your shirt is an argument with your body, you will avoid making requests. When your shoes hurt, you will leave early. Make systems that reduce the cost of courage. A standard message template, a default calendar block for dates or deep work, a short list of venues you like. Reducing friction reduces fear. Reduced fear increases reps. Reps build reality-based confidence. This is not glamorous. It is how adults win. We need to talk about silence. People who fear rejection treat silence like failure. The unbreakable use silence as a test. You make a clean offer and then you let the air work. If you fill the gap with more words, more explanations, more pitches, you teach the other person that your offers are negotiable. If you can hold 2 beats after a yes or no, you teach them that you heard and that you are not going to rescue yourself from feeling by talking. In negotiation, silence closes deals. In dating, silence reveals fit. In friendship, silence creates room for truth. Practice 2-beat silence every day in low-stakes conversations so you can deploy it when it counts. Now the math. Replace it with the correct equation. Every clean ask increases the probability of a meaningful yes. Every clean no protects the bandwidth that makes a meaningful yes possible. And every silence you survive increases your capacity to act again. You do not need everyone to say yes. If you get that yes in week 1, excellent. If you get it in week 4, also excellent. The timeline does not determine your worth. Your process determines your options. The person who carries calm into rooms commands them without trying. The people-pleaser story will say, be softer, be smaller. Apologize for asking. The romantic story will say, if it's meant to be, you shouldn't need to ask. The addict story will say, check your phone again, you might have a message. Naming the story shrinks it from a truth to a thought. Doing the rep turns it into background noise. Let's walk through scenes so you can feel the mindset alive. A date went well. The old you would wait 3 days, comment on a story, send a meme, and hope to be invited back into relevance. The unbreakable you sends one adult message the next day. I liked last night. Thursday at 7. I'll grab the quiet corner at the place we mentioned. I prefer Thursday. If she says yes, you book it and stop talking. If she counters once, you pick one. If she declines cleanly, you say, appreciate the clarity, be well, and you stop. If she goes vague twice, you step back. You did not lose. The old you rehearses, avoids, hopes to be noticed, then explodes when nothing changes. The unbreakable you runs numbers, books 15 minutes and says, I've been delivering X, Y, and Z with measurable results. Here are the outcomes and the revenue saved. Based on scope and market, I'm asking for A. I'm also open to a plan with milestones. If the plan is vague, you architect it or you plan your exit. Your worth isn't decided by their budget. Your plan is. The unbreakable you commits to a cadence, Tuesdays and Fridays at noon for 12 weeks. You reward yourself for reps, not for virality. Your nervous system learns that consistency protects you from the mood swings of metrics. Paradoxically, results improve because you are no longer in a drama with the algorithm. A friend violates a boundary. The old you swallows it and gossips later. The unbreakable you speaks once, kindly and clearly. When you cancel last minute, it costs me more than the plan. I need confirmations the day before. If that doesn't work, let's meet less often. Then you wait. If behavior changes, the friendship deepens. If it doesn't, you step back without turning love into a courtroom. Let's talk about the body again, because your body is the instrument that plays all of this. Relax your jaw by letting your tongue rest against the roof of your mouth. Lower your shoulders a centimeter. Feel your feet. Then send the message or speak the sentence. After any no, do the same thing. The ritual teaches your nervous system that your breath is the boss, not your fear. Rituals beat willpower. Willpower is loud and short. Rituals are quiet and long. A part that says, if I stop chasing, people will forget me. Another that says, if I stop performing, I will be invisible. Thank them and retire them. The people who want you to be smaller to stay will fall away. Let them. The space they leave will fill with adults who like watching you keep your spine while keeping your heart. That is the combination people fall in love with. That is the combination that wins promotions without begging for them. You need a vow, not a quote to post, a personal contract you sign with your behavior. I will not rent my schedule to other people's urgency. I will end nights on a high and protect my mornings. I will remove cheap levers that move me. I will compound a reputation for clarity and kindness. That vow won't make you bulletproof, but it will make you proud. Pride in the right dose is armor. Let's inoculate you against the worst-case fantasies that keep you paralyzed. You imagine public humiliation. Reality, most rejections are private, brief, and forgotten by the other person in minutes. You imagine burning bridges. Reality, clean nose and clean asks build bridges, because even those who decline respect adults who ask like adults. You imagine permanent labels. Reality, we are all too busy with our own lives to file you in a cabinet. The permanent label you should fear is the one you give yourself when you avoid life for years. You imagine that courage will feel like confidence. Reality, courage feels like fear but moving. Confidence shows up after. Day 1 through day 30, you commit to a daily minute of breathwork. 1 clean ask, 1 clean no, 1 clean follow-up, 1 2-beat silence you let stand, and 1 debrief sentence in your notebook. What I learned about fit, timing, or taste. You can stack reps if a day gets away from you, but you cannot skip 2 days in a row. You will also choose 1 weekly arena to stretch. Romantic, professional, creative, social, and make a bigger ask there once per week. Bigger means your heart rate rises. At the end of each week, you will read your notebook and circle 3 patterns: where you apologized, where you held silence, and where you felt proud. You're going to ask, can I do this without becoming cold? Choice warmth is generosity. The unbreakable do not resent their yes because they are as proud of their no. I want you to build a rejection budget, a number of no's you are willing to collect this month in service of what you want. 10 for dates, 5 for clients, 3 for creative submissions, 2 for mentorship asks. When you see no's as budgeted, they stop feeling like disasters and start feeling like receipts. You will be tempted to quit when you hit a cluster of no's. Markets in love and business reward the stubbornly clean far more than they reward the occasionally brilliant. We should address rumination because fear of rejection isn't just about the moment, it is about the hours you spend replaying it. Rumination is a loop that demands fuel. Text a friend about something unrelated. Set a timer for 5 minutes to journal once about the moment. What was in my control, what wasn't, what I'll do the same, what I'll do differently, and then stop. Every time your mind tries to open the file again, tell it we already did that. It will protest. 3 small scripts will save you hours of life. When someone gives you a vague answer, say, I work best with specifics. When can you confirm? When someone pushes your boundary, say, I hear you. That doesn't work for me. When someone says no, say, thanks for the clarity, be well. End. Resist the urge to negotiate after a no. That urge is your fear trying to buy back control. Control is not for sale. Dignity is. Let's tighten the mindset with an identity shift. Stop calling yourself afraid of rejection. Call yourself a selection athlete. Athletes train, measure, recover, and try again. Athletes expect misses and do not make it personal. You are not begging for approval. You are auditioning reality. Reality is not cruel. It is precise. It pays you when you do the work. It is not moved by your feelings, but it will transform your feelings when you align with it. Selection athletes become luckier, not because the world changes, but because they are in motion when opportunities appear. Motion is the mother of momentum. You cannot steer a parked car. We need to inoculate your calendar as well. Put 2 weekly blocks titled Selection Reps. During those blocks, you will send invitations, proposals, and follow-ups. No news feed, no inbox wandering, just reps. Put 2 weekly blocks titled Deep Work. During those, you will build the assets that make your ask strong. Skills, portfolios, decks, case studies, dates that actually feel like something. Put 1 block titled Maintenance. During that, you will clean your space, plan your week, and prepare your default outfits for asks. Discipline protects courage. Courage without discipline burns out. You might think this is too mechanical for matters of the heart. It isn't. The heart thrives when logistics are simple, because logistics eat courage when they are messy. The person who can plan is the person who can love well. Love is not a miracle that avoids planning. Love is a miracle that planning protects. I want to hand you a pocket sentence you can whisper before any ask. See, slow, select, invite, breathe, read, hold, end. See the person or the room clearly without fantasy. Slow your cadence until they can meet it. Select for fit early instead of trying to coax it later. Invite with specifics. Breathe together. Read what comes back without editorializing. Hold 2 beats after their answer. End on a high if it's a yes, and clean if it's a no. Do that enough times, and you will not just overcome fear, you will outgrow it. There will be days you want to relapse into performance. On those days, simplify. 1 ask, 1 no, 1 follow-up, 1 breath, 1 walk, 1 page. Keep your promises to yourself in small ways, and the big ways get possible again. You do not need to be heroic today. You need to be consistent. Consistency is the quietest flex. It also scares your fear, because fear survives on chaos, and you are removing its food. You will meet someone extraordinary, and the scarcity siren will sing. You will feel the urge to break every rule you just learned to avoid losing them. Smile. This is the final test. You will not speed up, you will not flood attention, you will not skip your training or your sleep. You will stay generous, and you will keep your spine. You will invite cleanly and accept clean answers. You will keep living. If they are right for you, this will not push them away, it will pull them closer. If they are not, your rules will save you months of pretending. Either way, you win. Let's close by returning to the word we began with, no. You do not need to love it. You need to stop worshipping it as a god that can shrink you. It is a word, a useful one, a word that carves the world into what is yours and what isn't, a word that protects your time so your yes matters, a word that forces you to earn, to select, to refine, a word that will never hurt you as much as the years you lose by running from it. The unbreakable are not ruthless, they are rooted. They move through rooms without hunting for permission slips. They offer cleanly. They hear cleanly. They keep moving. Tomorrow morning, wake, drink water, put light in your eyes, breathe slow twice, write 1 sentence on a sticky note, and go collect 1 no while keeping your shoulders down. Say thanks for the clarity, then go collect a yes. They live next door to each other, and when someone asks you how you overcame the fear of rejection forever, you will not tell them you found a hack. You will tell them the truth. I started making clean offers. I accepted clean answers. I kept my identity off the table, and I never stopped. That is the unbreakable mindset. That is the day your life begins to compound in the right direction. And it starts now with 1 breath, 1 ask, 1 no that doesn't touch your worth, and 1 yes that arrives because you finally made room for it.